The Hummer H1 is a civilian off-road vehicle based on the M998 Humvee, which was created by AM General. The vehicle was produced from 1992 through 2006, and was the first of what became the Hummer line. It was initially known only as the Hummer. However, in 1999, in a joint venture between General Motors and AM General, GM began marketing the Hummer H2, which was built on a heavily modified GMC 2500 HD chassis. It was at this point that the original Hummer was given the H1 designation. For collectors, the most desirable model is the H1 Alpha, produced in the final model year of 2006. It had the most powerful engine and the best fuel mileage of the H1 vehicles. Overall, the H1 was a very limited production vehicle. Originally designed strictly for military use, the four-wheel drive utility vehicle was released to the civilian market due to popular demand. Boasting 16 inches of ground clearance as well as super aggressive approach and departure angles, the Humvee could clamber over a 22-inch high obstacle, handle a 60% grade and wade through up to 30 inches of water. History: originally released in the civilian market March 14, 1992. The Hummer H1 owed its birth to the popularity of photos from Operation Desert Storm and the enthusiastic campaign from actor-politician Arnold Schwarzenegger, who owns several variants of Hummer vehicles. AM General announced that 2006 would be the last model year for the Hummer H1, with production winding down in June 2006 due to a new emission law for diesel engine vehicles, which took effect in 2007. Specifications: the Hummer H1 has three common variants, a convertible-like soft-top, a four-door hard-top sport utility truck and an Alpha wagon body version. Other less-known variants include a two-door pickup truck, most commonly seen in the military sporting anti-air weapon turrets and other launchers, or used as troop and cargo transports, and a four-door slantback, which shares the same body style of the Humvee employed by the U.S. military. The convertible soft-top and the station wagon versions were the last ones available in the mass market. The two-door and four-door pickup versions only available in fleet livery. Currently, 5 engine types and 3 automatic transmission types can be found in Hummer H1s. The common engine automatic transmission combinations are 6.2L GM diesel V8 per gram TH400/3L 83-speed, 6.5L GM diesel V8 per gram 4L 80 E4 speed, 5.7L Vortec 5700 gasoline V8 TBI GM 4L 80 E4 speed, 6.5L turbo GM diesel V8 per gram 4L 80 E4 speed, 6.6L turbo Duramax LLY58 turbo diesel Allison 1005 speed. The Hummer H1 shares some common driveline parts with its HMMWV brethren. Items like brakes, axles, frame and major body panels are shared between the HMMWV and Hummer H1. All H1s and HMMWVs were produced on the same assembly line, of which civilian H1s were then painted and finished in a separate building opposite the parking lot. Hummer H1s are unique in the way they handle off-road, and in their interior arrangement. Passenger and highway comfort are sacrificed for maximum mobility compared to civilian SUVs, with features much more radical than the original Jeep, though they do share a similarly cut simple grille opening. They are inherently very stable, thanks to their wide track. They can ford 30 inches of water and climb a 22-inch step. Their stock ground clearance of 16 inches is made possible by tucking driveline components inside a channel in the central space between the left and right seats. They have high approach-departure angles of 72/37.5 degrees. Most H1s are equipped with a central tire inflation system, which enables the driver to increase or decrease the tire air pressure at the push of a button, since lower tire pressures are more suited for off-road, and higher tire pressures are desirable on-road. Hummer H1s have many unusual features, such as inboard brakes and portal gears which allow the drivetrain's half shafts a higher placement, for greater ground clearance. The radiator is up high, sloping over the engine on a 4-hinged hood. The air intake is high mount, enabling the H1 to ford waist-level water. Rather than using simple run-flat tires, Magnesium aluminum alloy or rubber inserts are an optional feature for run-flat ability. A chemical agent-resistant coating, or CARC, is available only on the military version. 2006 Hummer H1 Alpha. The Alpha was an extensively re-engineered H1 that was equipped with GM's Duramax diesel and 5-speed Allison transmission. The previous version of the H1 with a 6.5L optimizer turbo diesel engine suffered from sluggish sales. Lack of power was one of the reasons for customer resistance. In 2002, AM General CEO Jim Armour took the idea of repowering the H1 to Bob Lutz and the GM Luxury Vehicle Committee. GM soon approved the use of their Duramax Allison powertrain for the H1. This would support the continuation of the H1 as the grandparent of the Hummer portfolio. It would also allow AM General to give the truck a much-needed dose of updating in terms of power, torque, refinement and the ability to meet 2004 heavy-duty EPA emissions requirements. The update program commenced in late 2002 with production launch slated to be fall of 2004. The engineering team chose the engine variant out of the GMT 560 truck because it packaged better into the H1 engine bay. However, 23 engine component changes were required and the team had to do a 2.0-in body lift to accommodate the taller engine, and its turbo housing lift had been done for MY96 to accommodate the turbo on the 6.5L engine. The GMT 560 engine calibration was used with minimal modification. Engine output was 300 horsepower and 520 lb-ft of torque. Due to the Duramax engine being equipped with cooled exhaust gas recirculation and an internal engine oil cooler, the team had to deal with a 40% heat rejection increase to engine coolant. However, they were unable to increase the size of the cooling pack between the airlift brackets that protrude from the hood. This meant dramatically re-engineering the fan system by putting the fan directly under the cool pack and driving it through a special gearbox directly off the crankshaft damper pulley. Several other cooling system modifications were required to assist with cold starting from a 30° Fahrenheit. Other major modifications included the use of special high-strength steel in the chassis frame, a more powerful steering gear, quieter axle differentials, redesign of the geared hubs to use quieter helical gears, new induction, exhaust and electrical power systems, and re-engineering of the fuel supply and filtration system. Off-road, the much higher torque of the engine, combined with the lower gearing ratio, made the truck much more powerful. The Duramax engine delivered more torque at lower engine speeds than the 6.5L, so the team actually had to calibrate the torque management to protect certain driveline parts. This new torque profile coupled with centralized tire inflation and AM General's new interior resulted in the complete re-engineering of everything except the carryover body made of aluminum beams and panels. Production launch was early in 2005, and continued until production ceased in mid-2006. All vehicles built during this time are classified as model year 2006. The program was cancelled May 12, 2006 because GM decided to withdraw technical and financial support for future engineering and recertification. Price. In the original 1992 production run, the price of the basic open-top was $40,500 while a fully loaded wagon with all options was $54,700. In 2006, the suggested retail price was $129,399 for the open-top. The wagon was $140,796, H1 Alpha was priced at $150,975. The Hummer brand. On June 2, 2009, General Motors attempted a sale of its Hummer brand to a Chinese company, Tenzhong, as part of its bankruptcy settlement. GM stated at the time that it hoped the sale would save about 3,000 jobs in the U.S. On February 24, 2010, General Motors announced that the company was shutting down its Hummer brand due to Tenzhong withdrawing its bid. Tenzhong stated that the bid was withdrawn due to a failure to get approval from the Chinese government. Gallery, Hummer H1 models showing differences, similarities, and other styles. See also, Humvee, Hummer, General Motors, FMC XR311, Toyota Mega Cruiser, Land Rover Defender, Iveco LMV, tuner, Lamborghini LM002, Hummer H2. References, discontinuation info. External links, Hummer, AM General, Hummer H1 maintenance manuals, Hummer H1 maintenance manuals and parts.